actions don't match your words. Greatness doesn't care about your feelings. It listens to your effort. Every second you waste blaming something outside of you, you lose power inside of you. The only way to break your limits is to take full responsibility. No shortcuts, no complaining, no excuses. Get up, grind, and become the version of yourself that refuses to. You know what changed my life? The day I stopped blaming everybody else for where I was. I used to point fingers at my teachers, my environment, my father not being in my life. I had a whole list of reasons why I wasn't winning. But let me tell you something. The moment I took asterisk full accountability, everything shifted. Nobody was coming to save me. Nobody's going to hand me success. I had to take ownership of my life like my life depended on it, because it did. I was homeless, sleeping in abandoned buildings, eating out of trash cans, and still trying to convince myself that it wasn't my fault. But every time I made an excuse, I gave my power away. Every time I said I can't, because I was saying I'm not in control. And that's when I realized excuses are a luxury the hungry can't afford. You can't grow and blame at the same time. You got to pick one. Either you're the victim or you're the victor, but you can't be both. Being is when I started taking accountability, I stopped saying I can't and started saying I must. I didn't have the money. I didn't have the connections, but I had drive. I had hunger. I had a reason. And once you take ownership, you unlock a part of yourself you never knew existed. You stop waiting for permission to grow. You stop expecting life to be fair. You start moving different. You wake up earlier. You go harder. You stop asking why me and start saying try me. Man, see, life doesn't owe you anything. You owe it to yourself to rise up, even when it hurts. Accountability means you stop negotiating with your potential. It means you look in the mirror and say, if it's going to happen, it's on me. And that's real freedom, because once you own it, you can change it. And stop letting your excuses become your story. Stop telling people why you can't and start showing them why you will. The world doesn't move for people who wait. It moves for people who work. So today, make a decision. No more blame, no more pity, no more limits. Embrace it's your life. Own it, or watch someone else live the life you were meant to have. Quit. Every excuse you make steals a piece of your potential. I didn't understand that at first. I thought excuses were harmless, just a way to protect my pride, to make myself feel better about where I was. But let me tell you something. Excuses are silent killers. They sound good, they feel good, but they destroy your greatness from the inside out. Every time you say, I'll start tomorrow, I'm too tired, I don't have what they have, you're building a wall between you and your dream. And that wall gets higher every day. You let those excuses live. I remember when I was sleeping on the floor of an abandoned building, man. It was cold, dark, and lonely. I didn't have food. I didn't have a plan. And for a long time, I had excuses. I didn't grow up with a father. Nobody believes in me. The system's against me. All of it was true, but none of it was helping me. None of it was moving me closer to where I wanted to be. I realized that my excuses were keeping me comfortable in my pain. They were giving me permission to stay stuck. And when you get comfortable making excuses, you stop fighting, you stop growing, you stop believing that more is possible. Man, the day I stopped making excuses was the day my life started to change. I stopped talking about what I didn't have and started using what I did have. I stopped saying I can't and started asking, how can I? That mindset shift, that's where power lives. Because when you stop excusing your situation, you start executing your solution. You start to see that the obstacle in front of you isn't your problem. It's your proving ground. Man, you want success. You got to stop negotiating with your limits. You got to stop giving yourself a way out. Because every time you excuse your failure, you delay your future. I had to learn that the hard way. I had to lose time, sleep, and relationships before I realized that my excuses were the reason I wasn't moving. And so don't tell me why you can't do it. Tell me why you must. Tell me what you're willing to sacrifice to make it happen. Excuses sound good to people who quit, but they don't build legacies. And if I can kill your excuses before they kill your dream, you know what most people want? They want the results, but they don't want the routine. They want success, but they don't want the sacrifice. Let me be real with you. Consistency beats talent every single time. I wasn't the smartest. I wasn't the fastest. I wasn't the most gifted, but I showed up when others didn't. That's what made the difference. Consistency isn't about feeling good every day. It's about doing what's necessary, even when you don't feel like it. Because success doesn't care about your mood. It cares about your movement. Then there were mornings I woke up and didn't want to get out of bed. There were nights I cried myself to sleep because I didn't know how I was going to make it. I was broke, homeless, embarrassed, and tired, but I knew one thing, if I quit, nothing would change. So I kept showing up day after day. No matter how small the progress was, I stayed in the fight. That's what consistency is, doing it when it's not convenient, when it's not glamorous, when nobody's watching. And you can't build greatness off of comfort. You build it off commitment. Some of you want to feel motivated every day before you act, but that's not how winners operate. Winners act their way into motivation. They push first, and the feeling follows later. I used to speak to empty rooms, man. No cameras, no audience, just me and a message. But I didn't stop because I understood that consistency isn't about who's watching. It's about who you're becoming. Venice, you've got to stop starting over every time it gets hard. Stop resetting your goals every time you lose momentum. Discipline means doing it when the excitement fades. The grind doesn't stop when you're tired. It stops when you're done. And if you keep choosing comfort over consistency, you'll keep living a life that doesn't reflect your potential. Plan is every time you show up when you don't want to, you're building strength. Every time you stay focused when distraction calls your name, you're building character. Right. It's not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be worth it. Your Nimers don't chase comfort, chase consistency because that's where your breakthrough lies. Asterisk, you say you want it, but do your actions prove it? Because talk is cheap. Effort tells the truth. I learned early on that life doesn't give you what you say you want. It gives you what you work for. You can't pray for greatness and then put in average effort. You can't dream big and work small. Your grind has to match your goals. I used to tell people I wanted to be successful. I wanted to inspire others. But for years, my work ethic didn't reflect that. I was inconsistent, distracted, and waiting for opportunity to come to me. Then one day I realized if I don't outwork my excuses, I'll never outrun my limits. Benja, when I was sleeping in that abandoned building, freezing at night and hungry during the day, I had a decision to make. Either I could sit there and feel sorry for myself, or I could get up and fight for a better life. I didn't have the right connections. I didn't have the right clothes. I didn't even have a roof over my head, but I had effort. And effort doesn't cost a thing. That's the one currency everybody has equal access to: effort. You can't control your past, but you can control how hard you go after your future. And the grind is the great equalizer. I've seen people with more talent fail because they stopped pushing when it got tough. And I've seen people with less talent rise to the top because they refused to quit. Effort exposes who you really are. You can't fake it. You can't post it. You either put in the work or you don't. And let me tell you, when your effort is real, life rewards it. Not immediately, not easily, but eventually. Manners, you've got to stop wishing and start working. Stop waiting for the perfect time. It doesn't exist. Every rep you do, every early morning, every late night, every sacrifice, that's what separates you from average. Nobody cares about what you say you want. They'll know what you want by what you're willing to give. Can diamonds your effort is your evidence. Show the world how bad you really want it. This pain changed me. It taught me things comfort never could. I didn't learn who I was when everything was going right. I learned it when I was broken, when I was hungry, when I had nothing but a dream and a reason. People think pain is punishment, but it's not. Pain is the process. It's like testing how bad you really want it. You say you want success, but are you willing to go through the fire for it? Because that's where the real growth happens, not in the easy seasons, but in the struggle. Man, the land. When I was out there on the streets, sleeping on cold floors, I wasn't thinking about becoming great. I was just trying to survive. But looking back now, that pain shaped me. Those nights taught me discipline. That hunger taught me focus. The rejection, the failure, the loneliness, it all built something inside me that comfort never could. Pain forced me to stop making excuses and start finding answers. It made me tougher, sharper, more grateful. Without those dark days, I wouldn't be who I am today. See, everybody wants to win until it starts to hurt. Everybody wants greatness until it gets uncomfortable. But the truth is, pain is the price of admission for success. You don't get to skip it. You don't get to choose when it comes. You just have to endure it and trust that it's shaping you into something greater. When you stop running from pain and start learning from it, you become dangerous because then nothing can break you. There were times I failed, not once, not twice, but over and over. And each time I thought it was over, I realized it was just another lesson. Pain has a way of stripping away everything that doesn't matter until all that's left is the real you, the fighter, the survivor, the believer. That's what it did for me. So don't curse your pain. Don't despise the struggle. That pressure you feel right now, that's life molding you, building you, preparing you. You're not being punished. You're being positioned. Embrace the pain because the struggle that hurts today is building the strength you'll need tomorrow. There comes a point in life where you got to stop talking in the affirmative about what you're going to do and just do it. No more excuses. No more waiting for the right moment. You either execute or you evaporate. I had to learn that the hard way. There was a time when I talked more than I worked. I had big dreams, but my actions were small. I kept saying one day, but one day never comes if you keep postponing your purpose. You can't build a legacy on intentions. You build it through execution. Beyond when I was sleeping in that abandoned building, there were days I sat there thinking, man, if only I had more help, more support, more resources. But the truth was nobody was coming. I had to move even when I didn't have all the answers. I had to act even when I didn't feel ready. Execution isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about taking one more step when everything in you wants to quit. That's how I got out of that building. Not because someone rescued me, but because I made a decision. I'm not waiting anymore. I'm doing it now. Man, you keep telling yourself you'll start when things get easier, when life calms down, when the timing feels right. Let me tell you, it never will. Winners don't wait for conditions. They create them. They execute in chaos. They move through fear. They push past doubt because the world doesn't reward potential. It rewards results. People can't believe in what you might do. They only see what you've done. Landis, every dream you got sitting in your heart requires execution. Faith without work is dead. Just vision without grind is fantasy. I failed more times than I can count, but the only reason I'm here today is because I refuse to stop. I didn't let fear make my decisions. I didn't let failure define me. I kept moving. You can talk about how bad you want it, but until your actions speak louder than your excuses, you're just making noise. And 80 in Manus. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for perfect. Move. Execute. Do it scared. Do it tired. Do it unsure. But do it. Myron, because execution, not excuses, is what separates those who dream from those who win.